Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for the Nevers, Season 1, Episode 3, Ignition. Welcome, everybody. Before we get started, let me take care of some business and then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does takes the algorithms of all the stuff up in you've been watching, and then it tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. Also, if you want to know when to be on live and get next, you get the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tier set up on the Patreon page. I'm waiting until I hit 1,000 subs, and it's basically going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth by one or two people. It'll be soon. Once that happens, there'll be tiers, there'll be stuff, all that kind of good stuff. Also, I have the links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. And I got the microphone set up right this time. So because of the new camera, YouTube keeps trying to go through the microphone and the camera. And I realized that the microphone for Invincible that I did earlier today was actually through the microphone or through the camera, not through this thing. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Then you can come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Yes, okay, we got it. Yeah. Was it off a little bit, Joe, last time? Yeah, I just realized that when I have to manually switch out the microphone, which microphone it is, on the display. Otherwise, it keeps picking this up, the camera microphone as the main microphone. It's really stupid. I just wish there was an easy setting in order to do it and just set it permanently, but it's not. I'm just glad that it actually gets that camera and not the other camera. So, well, yeah, the camera actually works better on this one. I think my laptop camera was getting ready to go, so the white balance was going out on my other camera. That's what was happening. So, but you didn't come here to listen about cameras and all that kind of stuff and microphones. You came here to talk about the Nevers, episode 3, Ignition. And I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of found the episode a little bit boring. It was a bit slow, but there was some exposition on it where a lot of girls in the house, mainly Mary Brighton, they're trying to figure out what what her mission is, because she keeps talking about being on a mission. And is it just to keep um, the others with powers, safe, or is there something else to it? Does she have something else? And what is that something else that she has, that she wants to do? And we really don't know for the most part what that is. Because Mrs. Bidlow pretty much just set her up and said, "Here, you deal with it." And she's the money, but she's not the one who's actually formulating any kind of plan or mission, because we know Mrs. Bidlow is also using the afflicted, as they're calling them, in order to extract whatever that shit is from underneath London. So there you have it. Yeah. But of course they end up finding out that Mrs. Bidlow's I guess other lore, where they're using Miss Adair's name and face in order to draw in those with turns in order to use them, of course, in the mines. And they find an address, they go in there and take down the woman who is actually, abducting these women, and also find that I guess they've been turning, regular people, men and stuff like that, into these machines, if you will. That's probably the doctor, most likely, that we were seeing earlier. And yeah, that was kind of an interesting little scene. And then, excuse me, when Mrs. True actually brings all that information to Mrs. Bidlow, Of course, her carriage is attacked. This is the automated carriage by some dude who can walk on water, quite literally, and it seems to be super powered strength as well. And of course, Mrs. True ends up choking him out while taking off her dress at the same time. In the meantime, all of this that's going on, Mary Brighton is getting her voice back, if you will, that singing voice, and you know, Miss Adair is finding out that, if she can amplify it from a park in the center of the city, then more of people with turns can actually hear the song and be brought in to the orphanage, which is, of course, what they do. And we don't know who, but somebody paid the bail for the dude with the Gatling gun who worked for Malady, and released him and set him upon basically upon Mary and killing her. And so she's singing, she's sending out her voice, and Mary gets killed by the dude with the Gatling gun, and Mundy is able to take him down, uh, but not before he actually shoots the shit out of Mary at that point. So yeah, so now the whole mystery is what is the mission that Mrs. True is on? Uh, what does Mrs. Bidlow want with these people? What is she digging up out of the ground? Also, who sent the Gatling gun guy to kill Mary and why? Uh, because ignition means, of course, Mason or Masson, yeah, Lord Masson is basically saying that this is a war. So ignition, the title of this episode, is the ignition of that war. And I don't know if Mrs. True is getting ready for this. Is this what her mission is in order to prepare these women, basically these people, for war? Or is this something else? What is her mission? We don't know. And she knows more about the future than she's letting on. She's seen a lot further into the future, obviously, than what she's letting on. That's what I'm getting from anyway. And we also had Dr. Cousins meeting up with Malady and taking out a bullet fragment that, of course, Mrs. True shot um, into her chest. And she keeps calling, Amelia. So Amelia True is what her name is, but she calls her Molly. So, yeah. And also Bonfire Annie ends up getting recruited into the orphanage as well, mainly from the song, but, they did meet up with her earlier in the episode. I did think that was kind of funny, though, the whole opium going up in flames and then getting high off of fumes. Oh, yeah. And what does Lord Mason have locked up in the basement? That's his daughter. So his daughter is, her powers, I don't think, are great. Because, yeah, he's getting a telephone installed, and the telephone guy is going in, and, the maid said, well, maybe you should go through the attic. And he's like, yeah, fuck that. And he goes to the basement instead, and he hears like almost like growling behind the door. And the maid says, oh, don't go there. The dogs are rabid. Leave the dogs alone. They'll get you, kind of thing. And she leads him through the basement a little bit more. So I'm fairly sure that's his daughter, even though the headstone says that she's buried in the family plot out in front, which I doubt that's the case. Yeah. So like I said, it's kind of slow. Um but what did she become? I don't know. It's a good question, Ben. I don't know. And we also have Swan, the whole thing with Swan leading Monday around, and also, of course, he's taken Gus Bidlow and put his name on the Ferryman Club. So he owns the Ferryman Club in theory. So if ever gets busted, it's going to go on Gus's. I guess you could say his moral standing in the community is going to be called into question. So yeah, Swan is playing a couple different games right now. We don't know what it is either. So there's all these intrigues that are going on, and um, honestly, I hate to say this, but I'm kind of over these things where you have these gigantic mystery boxes, and it's like, tell us what it is that you want to begin with when you're doing these episodes or when you're starting a series like this, and then kind of then you can add a little bit more mysteries to them as you do it. Just tell us what it is up front first, because quite honestly, this whole mystery box thing, it gets kind of boring after a while, and especially when you come to it and it's not that big of a deal, it's kind of like a letdown, which I'm kind of thinking that's what's going to happen by the end of this first season. Is whatever the big reveal is going to be kind of a letdown. Um, I hope not, but yeah, it's I don't know. I'm waiting for something more from this series. That's what I'm waiting for. I like the actors and actresses. I like what they're doing. I like the characters. It's just the story needs a little bit more, something to uplift it just a little bit more. Joker says, I'm disappointed about the death of a fan of the actress. I didn't hear anything about that. Yeah. Oh, you mean the actress you mean Mary in the show? Her death? Is that what you're talking about, Joe? Okay. Oh, on the show. Okay, great. That's what you're talking about. You're disappointed about Mary's. Yeah, Mary was a good character, but they needed something in order to light the fire, if you will, of the war that's supposed to be coming. And also, I mean, for me, the big mystery is what was that ship? What was the ship in the first episode that actually gave everyone these powers? Was it an otherworldly ship? Is it super science? Is it steampunkish super science? What is it? And I don't think we're gonna get that question answered until like episode 3 or season 3 or something like that. Which yeah, like I said, I'm kind of over that. It's like, and it's not this, give it to me now. It's one of those things like I don't expect there to be a big payoff to it. That's the whole thing. And I think in the mind of the creator, Joss Whedon, that it is a bigger deal than actually what it's going to be revealed to be. So that's why I'm just like, get to it and then build your story around it, you know, instead of building your story around it and then, come to the conclusion. That's what Lost did. And Lost was just shitty as all hell. So, yeah. Um, I know there's a lot of people that really love this show and they're gonna, hammer me in the comments. I get it. I like the show. I don't love the show. It's kind of one of those baseline shows for me right now, where if I were to miss an episode, I wouldn't be too put off by it. It's not a must see for me at the moment, even though I'm covering it here. So yeah, I kind of would like it just to be a little bit better. And I know it could be. I know it could be. That's the whole thing. And that's what kind of bothers me just a little bit. Ben says I have more faith in Josh than Jar Jar. Well, Josh has gone off of this. So you saw the writers had changed for this episode. And I believe from here on out is where we're getting into all the writers now, other than Josh Whedon. Even though he's got his name on it as created by, I don't think he's I don't think he's gonna have any more input into it after this. I think the first 2 episodes were his, and then that's it. It's handed off to the writers' room now at this point. We'll see. All right. So, what else do I have going on this week? Well, tomorrow I'm off. Tuesday is another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's the new Mortal Kombat movie that's come out. Well, it came out on Friday. Wednesday and Thursday I'm off. Friday is the season finale of Invincible. And Saturday is going to be Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any of the genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. And then we roll back around to Sunday to a new episode of The Nevers. Exactly. Joker says Jane E was decent with BSG and other shows. Yeah, There was a lot of BSG though that was filler. I'm going to say this right now, Joe Greer. So there was a lot of episodes that were just kind of filler, and there was a lot of wheel spinning. And I mean, the story overall was good, except for that ending. That ending was fucking horrible for the Ronald Moore Battlestar Galactica. That ending was just really fucking bad. But there was a lot of wheel spinning that was going on within those episodes. And I'm hoping that's not going to be the case here. I don't want wheel spinning. I don't want, padding of episodes, that kind of thing. If you know you don't have enough material for 8 episodes, make a fucking movie then. Do it that way, or do a mini series, 4 episode mini series, something like that, and do it that way. Don't bore us with, long drawn out episodes that go nowhere. And yes, and Penn says hopefully the main story arc was set. I think it was. That's usually what he does, is he sets up the whole main story first and then pitches it. And they're like, okay, that's great. And they do it. And there's usually a Bible for these books anyway, is what they do, is they set up a Bible of what's going to happen the first like 5 years or something, or the first 3 years or something. And usually the first season is already set, and they kind of have an idea of what they want to do for the second seasons and third seasons at least. So it's writing a book. At least that's what I hear. So Penn says, don't forget to enter the contest. That's right. There's a contest going on. If you go over to the Falcon and Winter Soldier, the season finale of the Falcon and Winter Soldier season 1, there is a contest going on where you can win this guy right down there. All you need to do is make a comment and live within the continental United States, and you can win this guy. That's right. Thanks, Penn, for reminding me about that. All right. I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, and all you need is just 2 more of you guys. No, I'd actually want more than just 2 people to join. I'd like a lot more people to join. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, also while you're down there, hit that like and the share button as well. And if you want to know when we'll be on live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. And I change it every week. And also I have all the links to my social media and my pages up there as well. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. I had to think about that for a second. So until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may need to have that shocking umbrella tip to take out one of those automaton dead guys. I don't know exactly what they are. That doctor had put together, because they look kind of nasty. Yeah. Just to protect yourself, Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Have a good night. Take care. Be well. Wear those masks. Get those vaccines. And I'll see you again on Tuesday. Have a good night, everyone.